When you act as if you already belong at the top, your mind starts finding the way. You speak differently. You walk with clarity. You attract respect. That's the transformation from doubting to doing. The target is the life you know you're meant to live. And the stakes, if you keep waiting to feel ready, you might wait forever. But if you move now, you change everything. In a few moments, you'll discover how to act as if you fear nothing and unlock the mindset that attracts success. It defeats your limitations. Every limitation a person perceives is not carved into the structure of the world, nor embedded into the nature of reality. It is manufactured piece by piece within the mind. The boundaries that seem immovable, the ceilings that feel unbreakable, and the walls that stand tall before one's dreams, these are not external forces. They are internal constructs, mental barricades. And once this truth is understood in its full depth, life itself transforms. Limitations are not facts, they are beliefs. And beliefs can be changed. They are not steel bars of a prison, they are shadows dissipating the moment the light of courageous thought is shone upon them. The person who allows fear to rule their thoughts becomes enslaved to imaginary barriers, but the one who rises with faith in their own capacity begins the journey toward mastery. Consider the life of Hannibal Barca, a Carthaginian general trained from youth to defy impossibility. When Rome towered over the Mediterranean world, Hannibal led his army across the Alps, a feat deemed suicidal by many. With elephants, infantry, and unwavering resolve, he descended upon Rome's doorstep. His path was not paved with ease, it was carved through snow, fear, and treacherous terrain. Yet through each trial he refused to let fear define his fate. What fueled this audacity? It was not luck. It was not validation. It was the absence of fear. Hannibal was not ignorant of his difficulties. He simply refused to worship them. He refused to bend before fear of rejection or the paralyzing dread of another failure. He stepped forward time after time, acting with faith where others retreated in doubt. His legacy was the natural consequence of this unwavering courage. Every human being is presented with two choices at the threshold of every opportunity: act boldly or retreat in fear. The former leads to growth, the latter to decay. Most people live shackled to their comfort zones, mistaking safety for peace. But safety is not peace. It is stagnation disguised as wisdom. Real peace comes only when a person moves boldly in the direction of their purpose, confronting uncertainty with the calmness of one who trusts in their inner power. Fear is a liar. It tells you that you are not ready, not worthy, not capable. It whispers that failure is dangerous, that rejection is death. But failure is education. Rejection is redirection. Both are steps on the staircase of greatness. The only real danger is inaction, the silent killer of dreams. To dissolve limitations, one must act. Not wait, not hope, not pray for a better moment. Action is the alchemy that transforms the impossible into the inevitable. And bold action, unburdened by the need for guarantees, unchained from the craving for certainty, is the mark of all high achievers. Boldness is not recklessness. It is alignment. It is the refusal to betray one's vision. It is the discipline to act in the face of fear, because one understands that the fear is not real, only the dream is. You are greater than any obstacle. This is not a hopeful mantra. It is a truth written into your very being. Every obstacle, every challenge, every difficulty is simply an invitation to rise. And those who rise, who act, who persist, discover that the walls were never real. The ceilings were illusions. The boundaries were thoughts. There is a fire within every person, a silent, indestructible will. It sleeps under the weight of doubt, but it awakens when summoned by purpose. When you act with fearless belief, this fire becomes your guide. It will illuminate the path through the fog of uncertainty. It will burn down the bridges of hesitation. Greatness belongs to those who dare, not those who wish, not those who analyze endlessly, but those who act with faith and power, the ones who move before the conditions are perfect, the ones who build the wings on the way down. These are the builders of empires, the authors of change. The chains holding any man or woman are not forged by society. They are formed in thought, and the key is action. Courageous, purposeful action. Step forward. The chains will break. The walls will fall. The world will make way. You are not limited. You are limitless. But only action will prove it. 2. It shapes your reality. In the invisible workshop of the mind, there lies a force more powerful than all the armies of the world. The power of thought. It is this force that carves out one's destiny, sculpts one's character, and lays the foundation of every achievement. Every man who has risen from obscurity to greatness has first mastered his thought. Act as if fear does not exist, and watch how swiftly your environment rearranges itself to your new standard. Fear is not real. It is merely a thought clothed in doubt. Cast it aside and your true self begins to emerge. The person who learns to dominate fear becomes the master of his fate and the captain of his soul. Your thoughts give rise to beliefs. These beliefs drive your actions. Repeated actions become habits, and habits build the reality in which you dwell. To change your world, change your thoughts. All progress, all wealth, all peace begins within. A man who holds firm belief in his purpose begins to carry himself differently. His eyes are set with determination. His words carry power. He takes bold action, not because he knows the outcome, but because he knows his cause is just. And in return, the world yields. Doors open, circumstances shift, fortunes change. Meanwhile, the man who is governed by fear delays, hesitates, and finds reasons why success is not for him. He spends his life watching others rise while he remains a servant to the imaginary chains of doubt. To think without fear is to unlock your potential. It is to enter the realm of possibility. It is to plant your flag on the summit of your dreams before the climb has even begun. History honors the bold thinkers, the men who believed in themselves when the world doubted them, the builders of bridges, the dreamers of empires, the authors of peace. Their victories were born not in certainty, but in courageous imagination. Ask yourself, what reality am I shaping with my current thoughts? What grand vision have I buried beneath fear? And more importantly, what could I become if I thought only of success? You are never defeated by external forces. Defeat begins in the mind. Adopt the mindset of the victor. See yourself as the person you wish to become and begin to act accordingly. Speak as if you command the future. Walk as if the ground was made for your journey. Choose thoughts that uplift, empower, and direct you toward your aim. Because when you think fearlessly, you do not wait for permission, you create the opportunity. Every building, every innovation, every triumph that exists today was once just a thought held firmly in the mind of a fearless individual. Now the question is, what reality will you create? Guard your thoughts, for they are the seeds of destiny. Think boldly, think clearly, and let the power within you shape the world around you. 3. It turns setbacks into stepping stones. Every man who seeks to rise above mediocrity must come face to face with adversity. It is not a matter of if, but when. Life's setbacks are inevitable. But here lies the secret known only to those who have tasted greatness. Your attitude toward those setbacks determines your trajectory. You see, most men stumble and remain on the ground. They curse their misfortune. They question their worth. But the man who is determined, the man who has fixed his vision upon a burning purpose, sees the setback not as punishment, but as preparation. There is power in this shift. There is wisdom in learning to interpret failure as feedback. When you adopt this mindset, when you act fearlessly, even in the face of repeated defeat, something miraculous happens. Your failures become fuel. Alexander Graham Bell's vision of transmitting the human voice across distance was once considered laughable. In his laboratory, he encountered breakdown after breakdown. His prototypes failed. His ideas were challenged. Yet not once did he surrender to despair. He saw each failed attempt not as evidence of impossibility, but as instruction. Each error was a teacher. Each delay was a sharpening stone. And so, with relentless faith in his purpose, he pressed on. His setbacks became stepping stones, and those stones led directly to the invention of the telephone, a device that forever altered human communication. What then shall you do with your setbacks? Shall you treat them as chains, or will you use them as chisels to sculpt your future? The most powerful transformation you can undergo is to embrace the idea that nothing is wasted. Not pain, not rejection, not failure. Every experience is either a lesson or a lever. It is not what happens to you that matters most. It is what you do with what happens to you. Fearless living is not the absence of failure. It is the absence of defeatism. It is the belief that adversity is temporary and that you possess the power to overcome. When you think in this manner, you begin to see clearly. Obstacles are not in the way. Obstacles are the way. The man who conquers his circumstances is the man who never lets temporary setbacks become permanent conditions. He rises, again and again. And each time he rises with more wisdom, more strength, more resolve. Setbacks are often the universe's way of testing the sincerity of your desire. They ask, how badly do you want this? They challenge your commitment. And if your answer is firm, your attitude unshaken, then you will pass the test and move forward to claim your prize. So when failure knocks on your door, welcome it as a messenger. Ask it, what are you here to teach me? And once you have learned the lesson, move forward with speed and certainty. Do not dwell. Do not pity. Let your mind dominate your circumstances. The giants of industry, the pioneers of invention, the leaders of change, they all share this trait. They used setbacks as staircases. Your journey will not be without trial, but if you cultivate the right attitude, each trial will make you stronger, wiser, and closer to your goals. Let your setbacks sharpen your vision. Let them refine your purpose. Let them build in you a fortitude that no force can break, because in truth, there is no such thing as failure. There are only lessons and stepping stones. Your attitude is the compass. Let it point unwaveringly toward victory. It unlocks your true potential. There comes a moment in every life when the path forward is not lit by certainty, but obscured by doubt. At that moment, a man must decide whether to pause or to press forward. Understand this truth. Fear is the lock that bars the door to your destiny, but action, decisive, courageous action, is the key. You were not born to hesitate. You were not designed to shrink in the face of risk. The same mind that creates fear also contains the power to overcome it, and the means by which it is overcome is simple, yet profound. Take action. Every man who has left his mark upon the world has done so by moving forward in spite of fear. He felt it, but he did not obey it. He understood that action breeds confidence, while inaction feeds doubt. Carnegie was not born into wealth or privilege. His beginnings were humble, his resources scarce, but within him burned a spirit that did not wait for permission. He did not wait for ideal circumstances. He acted boldly, with a vision so grand it seemed foolish to others. He started small, delivering telegrams, working long hours, observing, learning, and then step by fearless step, he began to build. He invested in himself. He surrounded himself with knowledge and men of wisdom. His courage multiplied his capabilities. That fearless action awakened within him strengths and talents that would have otherwise remained dormant. And from those simple beginnings, Mr. Carnegie rose to become one of the greatest industrialists the world has ever known. This, then, is the eternal law. When you move forward with boldness, life moves with you. You do not need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You must simply begin. The act of beginning, even if imperfectly, starts a chain reaction. You unlock ideas, resources, relationships, and strength that were waiting just beyond the door of hesitation. Within you are abilities you have not yet touched, talents not yet tested, powers lying dormant, waiting to be summoned, and they do not awaken by thought alone. They awaken through action. Do not wait for the fear to vanish. Move while it is still present. Every step you take through fear diminishes its hold, and soon you will look back and wonder why you ever doubted your strength. The great difference between those who achieve and those who only dream is not talent nor luck. It is initiative. It is the ability to say, though I feel fear, I will act anyway. Action is the alchemist that turns vision into reality. It is the bridge from imagination to manifestation. It transforms the invisible into the tangible. And the more fearlessly you act, the more powerful you become. Fear is clever. It disguises itself as logic, as caution, as prudence. But its true aim is to keep you where you are, and where you are is not where you are meant to stay. So I ask you now, what dream have you delayed? What idea have you left untouched? What goal lies waiting behind the lock of fear? The key is already in your possession. Use it. Take the first step, speak the words, make the call, start the project, move. Because in motion your power is revealed. You will not know your true strength until you are tested. You will not discover your full potential until you take the leap. Fear loses its grip the moment you take fearless action, and in that moment you begin to rise. Remember, fear is the lock, but you hold the key. Turn it and walk boldly into your greatness. 5. It guides your courageous actions. There is a common misunderstanding that must be shattered. Acting fearlessly does not mean the absence of fear. No man who ever accomplished anything great was entirely without fear. The difference between the average man and the man of destiny is this: the latter moves forward despite Courage is not born in comfort. It is forged in the fire of uncertainty in moments when the path ahead is obscured and the outcome unknown. To act with courage is to affirm to the universe that your purpose is stronger than your fear. Ulysses S. Grant was no stranger to fear. In battle, he often faced overwhelming odds. Yet it was not his circumstances that defined him, but the decisions he made in those circumstances. When others hesitated, he advanced. When others doubted, he commanded. It was this consistent, courageous action that turned tides, won wars, and changed the course of history. Grant did not wait to feel courageous. He chose courage. And in choosing it again and again, he became its embodiment. So must you. Fear is not the enemy. Fear is the signal. It tells you that you are approaching the edge of growth. It appears when you step beyond the familiar, and it can either halt your progress or fuel your rise. Courage is the choice to move anyway. Every time you act with courage, you reinforce a powerful truth within, I am capable. With each brave decision, you begin to sculpt a new identity, one not governed by limitation, but led by bold vision. Understand this clearly. Courage is not an event. It is a habit. It is not reserved for heroes or the extraordinary. It is available to you right now in the everyday choices you face. To speak the truth when silence would be easier. To take the leap when staying still feels safe. To stand alone, if it means standing for what is right. These are not grand, dramatic acts. They are simple, deliberate decisions repeated over time. And these are the acts that change a life. Courage is the quiet power that builds momentum. It does not always roar. Sometimes it is a whisper that says, try again tomorrow. And the beauty of courage is this. It compounds. Every act of bravery, no matter how small, becomes a deposit in the bank of self-belief. Over time, this reserve of inner strength becomes unshakable. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to face challenges, not with dread but with readiness. The man who chooses courage daily becomes a man the world cannot ignore. So ask yourself, what would you do if you were not afraid? What action have you delayed because fear held the reins? And more importantly, what might become possible if you decided just once to act in spite of it? This is your invitation. Choose courage not once but daily. Speak boldly, decide swiftly, act deliberately, because each time you do, you step into the person you were meant to be. Courage is not something you find. It is something you choose, and in choosing it, you change everything. Fear may visit, but it no longer governs. You are not led by doubt. You are guided by conviction. You are not held back by what might go wrong. You are moved by what must go right. Let courage be your compass, and you will never lose your way. For in this life, the bold do not wait for strength. They create it, one brave action at a time. 6. It eliminates doubt. There is no force more crippling to the human spirit than doubt. It whispers lies, feeds hesitation, and stalls progress. Doubt is the silent thief of dreams. But there is a truth that must be understood by all who seek greatness. Doubt paralyzes. Fearlessness liberates. When you take bold, unwavering action, when you dare to act with conviction, doubt cannot survive. It fades, retreats, dissolves, because doubt is not real power. It is merely the shadow of fear, and shadows vanish in the light of decisive action. There are many who have changed history through fearless living, but few stand as firmly in that truth as Susan B. Anthony. In a time when the world told her to remain silent, when laws and customs resisted her every word, she moved forward anyway. She did not wait for approval. She did not allow doubt to dictate her destiny. Her mission was clear: justice, equality, and the unshakable belief in the dignity of every human being. With each act of defiance against injustice, she erased the doubt in her path, not just for herself, but for generations to follow. Her fearless commitment silenced uncertainty and carved a path where none had existed. And what she did, you can do. Understand this. The moment you decide to believe in your mission with your whole heart, doubt loses its power. It can no longer sway your judgment. It can no longer delay your action. You become immune to its grip because your vision has become more powerful than your fear. It is not doubt that stops you. It is your tolerance of it. When you move with clarity, when you commit to your purpose fully, something profound happens. You stop asking for signs. You stop waiting for the right moment. You become the creator of moments. You begin to believe, not because the world validates you, but because you have validated yourself. Fearless action is the cure. It silences the inner voice that says, "What if I fail?" and replaces it with, "What if I succeed beyond measure?" Doubt thrives in stillness. It grows in delay, but it cannot coexist with motion. When you take the first step, no matter how uncertain, you begin to rob doubt of its foundation. With each bold move, you fortify your belief. With each brave decision, your confidence expands. Do not wait to feel certain. Certainty is not a prerequisite for action. It is the result of action. Think on this. How many dreams have died in the waiting rooms of doubt? How many talents have gone unseen because their owner listened to fear? That must not be your story. The world rewards those who move, who risk, who dare. Not because they have no doubt, but because they refuse to bow to it. Doubt asks questions. Fearlessness gives answers. Doubt delays. Fearlessness decides. Doubt hesitates. Fearlessness, and in every case, it is action that transforms. Action that builds confidence. Action that opens doors. You have within you a mission, a purpose that was given to no one else. Do not let doubt dim its light. Do not let fear write your story. Choose belief. Choose clarity. Choose action. Because when you act fearlessly, you invite certainty. You create momentum. You forge strength. Doubt cannot withstand a soul on fire with conviction. Let your purpose burn brighter than your fear. Let your steps be louder than your hesitation. Fearless action is not a feeling. It is a decision. And with each decision, you move further from doubt and closer to destiny. 7, it builds confidence. There is a great lie the world repeats, that confidence is something you are born with, that some men simply have it while others do not. Let this be made clear. Confidence is not inherited. It is earned. It is built. And like any muscle, it grows only when used. Confidence is the result of fearless action, deliberate steps taken in the face of uncertainty. Each time you move forward boldly, you send a message to your subconscious. I trust myself. And over time, this trust becomes unshakable. Confidence is not the absence of doubt. It is the triumph over doubt. It is the unwavering decision to act in spite of the voice that says, "You are not ready." Theodore Roosevelt. As a child, he was weak in body and often sick. He was timid, sheltered, and fragile, but he made a decision not once, but daily to transform himself. He subjected himself to rigorous physical training, to public service, to the trials of leadership. Every act of courage, every deliberate choice to step into discomfort forged a new layer of confidence within him. He did not wait to become confident before taking action. He took action, and from it, confidence was born. You too have the same power. Imagine confidence as a wellspring. Each fearless decision is a drop. Each challenge embraced is a stream. Every time you speak up when it would be easier to stay silent, every time you take the first step without knowing the second, you add to your reservoir of self-assurance. Eventually, that reservoir overflows. You begin to walk differently, speak with clarity, decide without hesitation. Not because fear has vanished, but because you have risen. Confidence is not a destination. It is a practice. It is built in the moments when you could shrink, but instead you stand tall. It is built when you feel vulnerable, yet you press forward anyway. It is built when you challenge the belief that you are not enough. Every great leader, every man who has accomplished something meaningful, began with a single act of faith in himself. That act led to another, and another, until belief became their nature. If you wait to feel ready, you will wait forever. The only way to become ready is to be. Confidence grows through exposure to challenge. Just as a muscle tears and rebuilds stronger, so too does your self-belief. The more you stretch your limits, the greater your capacity becomes. The more you act in alignment with your purpose, the more certain you grow of your path. These are not random actions. These are reps. These are the heavy lifts of personal growth. And with each one, you become stronger. And here lies the true beauty. Confidence compounds. Small victories today become the foundation for bigger victories tomorrow. One courageous moment plants the seed for a confident identity. And soon, that identity becomes who you are. Not by chance, but by design. The man who takes consistent action in the face of fear becomes unstoppable. His self-trust is not built on fantasy, but on evidence. He has faced difficulty, and he has prevailed. He has moved without certainty, and still found ground beneath his feet. He no longer needs applause. He does not wait for validation. He knows you can become that man. But it will not happen through thought alone. Confidence is not a theory. It is an experience. You must live it, practice it, earn it. Every day you are presented with two choices: shrink back into comfort or step forward into growth. And every day you choose growth, you expand your potential. You must act as if it is already within you, because it is. You must walk with the conviction of someone who knows that confidence is built, not bestowed. So start now. Start small, if you must. But start, because with every courageous step you take, you build momentum. And with enough momentum, nothing can stop you. Confidence is not something you wait for, it is something you create. And once you build it, you will walk into every room, every challenge, every dream, knowing without question, I belong here. It ensures lasting success. There is a kind of success that flickers like a candle, bright for a moment, then gone with the wind. But true success, the kind that endures, that spans decades and generations, is never built on fleeting emotions or momentary luck. It is built on a foundation of fearless action, resilient character, and relentless growth. Understand this. The success that lasts is not accidental. It is engineered. It is the result of consistent, courageous choices made over time. It is not about achieving one. It is about becoming someone who achieves consistently because of who they are, what they believe, and how they act under pressure. Cornelius Vanderbilt began his empire not with wealth, not with connections, but with a single ferry boat. A small operation, modest in scale, humble in appearance. But behind that humble start was a spirit unwilling to be confined. Mr. Vanderbilt saw opportunity where others saw risk. He pursued each chance with unshakable resolve and fearless decision-making. He expanded, reinvested, and dared to go where others hesitated. Over time, that small ferry operation grew into a shipping and railroad empire that would redefine American industry. His wealth became immense, yes, but more importantly, it endured, because it was rooted in fearless vision and daily deliberate action. You must understand, temporary success can come to anyone, but enduring greatness is reserved for those who are willing to confront their fears daily. Fear has many forms. It may disguise itself as caution. It may appear as hesitation or wear the mask of logic. But its goal is always the same, to stop you from moving forward. The man who achieves long-term success does not eliminate fear. He learns to act in spite of it. He sees that every moment of hesitation is a moment lost. Every delay is a step backward. So he chooses action. He chooses courage, again and again. Real success, the kind that cannot be shaken by market crashes, criticism, or chaos, requires a solid core. And that core is built from three principles. 1. Fearless commitment. 2. Consistent action. 3. Persistent courage. Fearless commitment means you are all in, not when it's easy, not only when the odds are favorable, but especially when the terrain is uncertain. You are not flirting with success. You are married to it. You show up for it every day. Consistent action means doing the work when no one is watching. It means taking bold steps, not just once in a while, but every single day. The man who acts boldly once may taste victory, but the man who acts boldly daily builds an empire. Persistent courage means you do not quit when you fall. You do not crumble when you face resistance. You take every failure as fuel, every setback as a signal to grow stronger, not weaker. If you want success that lasts, you must stop chasing shortcuts. You must stop seeking applause. You must stop waiting to feel ready. Instead, build your success on solid ground. Face your fears every day. Speak when it's uncomfortable. Take the step no one else dares to take. Say yes to the opportunities that scare you. Lean into the challenges that others avoid. This is how enduring success is born. It does not come in a single day. It comes from thousands of courageous days stacked on top of one another. Each one may seem small, even invisible to the outside world, but you will know. You will feel the shift. You will see the momentum build. And eventually others will see it too, not just in what you have achieved, but in who you have become. The world rewards those who persist with purpose. It honors those who rise after every fall. It celebrates those who do the hard thing, not once but as a way of life. So do not settle for temporary glory. Do not be content with a flash of brilliance. Aim for a legacy. Let your success be a monument to fearless living. Let your journey be a masterclass in unshakable resolve. because when your actions are fearless, your success is timeless. Optimism fuels courage. If courage is the engine of fearless living, then optimism is the fuel. It is the spark that lights the fire within, the unseen force that lifts you when the weight of the world threatens to hold you down. It is not just a pleasant attitude or a feel-good mindset. It is a powerful strategic weapon for those who intend to conquer fear and rise to greatness. Understand this. Optimism is not the denial of difficulty. It is the decision to believe in possibility even while walking through the fire. It is the unshakable choice to see beyond the immediate obstacle and into the opportunity it hides. Benjamin Franklin, a man who faced hardship, failure, and ridicule. He was born into modest means, had limited formal education, and encountered countless setbacks in both science and politics. Yet he never sank into despair. Why? Because he chose optimism. He used every obstacle as a stepping stone. Every rejection became redirection. His positive outlook gave him the courage to persist where others gave up. Through optimistic resilience, Franklin became a statesman, inventor, philosopher, and one of the founding architects of a nation. His achievements were not just products of intelligence or talent. They were born from a belief that something better was always within reach. You must adopt the same approach. Fear thrives in negativity. It feeds on worst-case scenarios, on imagined failures, on the belief that success is unlikely. But when you choose optimism, you cut off its supply. You rob fear of its momentum. An optimistic man sees challenges not as signs to retreat, but as signals to rise. He believes there is always a way forward. He walks into storms not because he is blind to the danger, but because he knows the sun still shines behind the clouds. Optimism gives you energy, and energy sustains motion. Without optimism, courage becomes exhausting. You may start strong, but without a hopeful vision, your strength withers. But when you feed your mind with possibility, when you focus on progress over perfection, you build the endurance necessary for long-term victory. Think of it this way. Every goal requires a journey, and every journey encounters storms. If your mind is filled with dread, you will hesitate at every crack of thunder. But if your heart is anchored in hope, you will press on, even when the path is unclear. This is not fantasy. It is strategy. Optimism is not the avoidance of reality. It is the mastery of it. It says, yes, the situation is hard, but I am harder. Yes, the path is steep, but I am climbing. Yes, the odds are long, but I am longer-willed. Optimism is a choice, one you must make daily. It is forged by what you consume, how you speak, who you surround yourself with, and what thoughts you entertain. Feed your mind with uplifting truths. Speak possibility over limitation. Align with those who challenge and uplift you, and guard your mental gates with vigilance. Every act of optimism is an act of war against fear. So what does this look like in practice? It means saying, I will find a way, even when others say it's impossible. It means seeing failure as information, not defeat. It means expecting progress from your efforts, even if the results take time. It means standing tall when others retreat. And most of all, it means believing that what lies ahead is better than what lies behind, that your best work is yet to come, that you are made for more. Optimism gives your courage a reason to keep going. It transforms your outlook, strengthens your resolve, and sharpens your focus. You were not born to be overwhelmed. You were born to rise. The man who lives with optimism is not just more cheerful, he is more dangerous to fear, because he cannot be broken by hardship. He cannot be silenced by failure. He cannot be stopped by delay. He sees the mountain and climbs it anyway. Let that man be you. Choose optimism not as a feeling, but as a discipline. Train your eyes to seek the good. Train your mind to expect strength. Train your heart to believe. And with that belief, you will become unstoppable. Because optimism is not weakness, it is fuel. And with it, your fearless living will know no bounds. Your future depends on it. There is a truth so powerful it can alter the course of your entire life. Your future success hinges entirely on your willingness to act without fear. Success is not something that awaits you in the distance. It is not a far-off destination to be stumbled upon by luck. It is something you build day by day, choice by choice, action by action. And the raw material of that construction is fearlessness. The life you want, the man you wish to become, he is not hidden in the years ahead. He is sculpted right here in this very moment by what you choose to do. Decide clearly who you wish to become. Define him in vivid detail. See his habits, his standards, his strength, his discipline, his purpose. Once that vision is clear, you must do the one thing most people avoid. Move toward it without fear. Do not wait until you feel ready. Do not wait until the fear vanishes. The fear will always be present, but it is not your master. It is your test. Every great figure in history, every monumental achievement that has ever come to pass, began with a single fearless decision. A moment when someone chose action over hesitation, purpose over fear. Fearless decisions are the birthplace of destiny. You must understand, your future is not something that happens to you. It is something you create, and it is created in this moment, the present. What you do today shapes what becomes possible tomorrow. What you think, how you act, what you say, and what you refuse to delay, these are the building blocks of greatness. Most people will never realize this. They will drift. They will wait for the perfect moment. They will let fear have the final say, and in doing so, they surrender their future to chance. But you are not most people. You have seen the truth, and with truth comes responsibility. You know now that every moment is a fork in the road, a chance to either lean into courage or retreat into comfort. Your destiny is not in the stars, it is in your choices. Each time you choose to act boldly, to move with purpose, to speak your truth, you align your life with greatness. Each time you resist delay, confront your fear, and take the step that scares you, you create a future you can be proud of. The extraordinary life you desire is not reserved for the lucky or the gifted. It is reserved for the brave. So begin today. Take that courageous first step. Start the business. Initiate the conversation. Speak the idea. Change the habit. Break the pattern. Do not look around for permission. Do not wait for validation. Look within and move. You are the architect of your fate, and the tools are already in your hands. Fear will always knock, but greatness answers first. Let your decisions today reflect the man you are becoming. Let your actions declare, I am ready, I am worthy, I am willing. Because the future you dream of is not far off. It is one fearless step away. Embrace fearlessness with your whole heart. Make it your standard. Let it echo in every area of your life, your work, your relationships, your purpose, your vision. And in doing so, watch your life begin to reflect not just progress, but power, not just success, but significance. You deserve the extraordinary, but you must claim it. And the only way to claim it is to act without fear, starting now. Embrace fearlessness and watch your dreams unfold into reality. Act now. Your limitless future awaits.